An interesting twist in the Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively case, in that Justin Baldoni's lawsuit revealed that there were some missing texts in the New York Times article that Blake Lively's story, she was attempting to rewrite history.
Justin Baldoni sued against the New York Times. It is an 87-page complaint.
Every single text message that exists out there, put them on a website for the world to see.
Meaning there were many things that were omitted from the article that makes it feel as if Justin is the big bad wolf.
You know, Justin Baldoni from the get-go said, I don't want to do anything negative toward her. I don't want to hurt her.
Where Blake Lively may actually be the one that's not telling the whole truth. So Justin Baldoni and his PR team filed a shocking lawsuit against the New York Times on New Year's Eve.
Justin Baldoni sues the New York Times for $250 million over the outlet's Blake Lively harassment story.
In response to Blake Lively's complaint about a smear campaign following the premiere of the popular movie It Ends With Us. Baldoni and his team offered evidence of missing texts that were omitted from the star's initial CDR.
Baldoni's lawsuit calling the article rife with inaccuracies, misrepresentations, and omissions.
Now, this complaint obtained by Variety claims that the Times reporters overlooked text messages indicating that Lively's team may have been waging its own PR war against Baldoni. Interesting, because it made, obviously Lively's team is claiming that Baldoni and his PR team really wanted to taint her reputation, and it was all about, burying her, and, the famous text about they can bury anyone. Now, Lively's publicist, Leslie Sloan of Vision PR, once backed by Harvey Weinstein, seeded stories critical of Baldoni, including that Baldoni was a sexual predator in the film's release. So this is interesting. Anytime, the media can always tell the narrative and the story that it wants to tell. And, Blake Lively's team is basically accusing Baldoni's team of wanting to ruin her reputation and intentionally making her out to be the bad guy, where Baldoni's lawsuit, although it's against the New York Times, is claiming that they're not the bad guy, and it's actually Blake Lively that is making up all of these stories, that she's difficult to work with, that she basically just wanted to take over the entire film, take control of all the creative, part of it, including the editing, and basically had, Justin and his whole family watching the premiere in the basement, right? So it's really messy. Talk about a bad breakup. We talk about working relationships. Like, this is a work wife and work husband situation that is burning up in flames. I mean, the horse is dead here, okay? Now, the New York Times contributed to a narrative that Baldoni's PR agency, the Agency Group, which consists of Melissa Nathan and Jen Abel, they were planning stories not in favor of Lively. Now, attorney Brian Friedman, who filed the lawsuit on behalf of the plaintiffs, told Variety the newspaper cowered to the wants and whims of two powerful, untouchable Hollywood elites, disregarding journalistic practices and ethics once befitting of the revered publication, using, doctored and manipulated text, carefully manipulated text, to intentionally omit the text that dispute that, or basically poke holes in that narrative. Now, there's all kinds of evidence and, documents showing, who said what, and texts to begin with are challenging to interpret. But this is certainly a really messy situation. I can't imagine what the set was like and what the atmosphere was like working on this film. And then, of course, during the entire PR and its release over the summer, we all know that Blake Lively was criticized quite badly based on her own lack of effort, or her what was deemed lack of sensitivity to the entire intent of the film itself, which was to highlight the serious subject matter of domestic violence, amongst, and women who are abused, and the real, lesson within the film. So it just is a really, really ugly, messy situation. The New York Times article showed the complaint that Nathan allegedly shared a link to this article with Abel, and the text exchange only showed Abel responding, "Wow," followed by, "You really outdid yourself with this one." And then Nathan replied, "That's why you hired me, right? I'm the best." So it's really ugly. What I do know is that between Lively and Justin, what once was a relationship based, again, on praise, Baldoni praised Lively's participation and talked about how wonderful her creative output was, how great it was to have her included in this film. There didn't seem to be very many tensions, but one example of such omission was that one of her complaints in her harassment lawsuit against Baldoni was that he would enter her trailer while she's breastfeeding or unannounced and she's not fully clothed. And then one of the texts, you can see an exchange where she's like, "I'm in my trailer, breastfeeding my child, come on over." And he's like, "I'm gonna have lunch or whatever, and then I'll head over there later." So why was that omitted? They're basically saying, you're accusing me of going into your trailer while you're breastfeeding. Meanwhile, there's a text here saying that you invited me and you told me what you were doing and that I was welcome to go there. So it's hard to believe who's right in this situation. Now, it is not a small amount. They're suing the publication New York Times for $100 million. And I think part of that is because Baldoni post-harassment charges, or the, Blake Lively's filing of Baldoni, he ended up getting dropped by his agency, his talent agency, which she is still represented by. Okay, so this has had a real impact for Justin, where Justin's team is saying, look, you're just trying to create a narrative or deflect the negative press from you because you decided to make it about, what fashion you should wear to the premiere and not really talk about the purpose of the film, the gravity of the film, the important subject matter of the film. So again, it's like a nasty work relationship unfolding in front of everybody. There was complaints that Baldoni was actually, or members of the cast and crew were showing her pornographic or inappropriate videos of naked women, when what I heard from this particular Stylecaster article is that the video that was being shown to Blake Lively was of a woman giving birth. Okay, a woman giving birth. I don't know who's telling the truth here. Why would Lively consider a woman giving birth as pornographic material? And then all this reference about, Justin and his past in conquests with women and his inappropriate conversations about his former, porn addiction. She said she doesn't want to hear anything about that. That really wasn't covered in Baldoni's side against the New York Times, but they came with receipts, okay? There are plenty of receipts here that there was no intentional smear campaign. They provided evidence that, if anything, they were supportive of Blake Lively. They also submitted to the New York Times essentially everything that they could, the dirt on Blake Lively's character, on the difficulty it was to work with her, on her supposed, again, this is all supposed, this is all alleged control over the film, and how she was slowly squeezing Baldoni out, who, by the way, is a producer, a director, and an actor in the film. And you almost can empathize with Baldoni in the way that he was treated post, reading this particular article. So it's kind of crazy. The conversations and texts between Baldoni and Lively's PR team and Baldoni's PR team and everybody else in the middle, man, grab a bag of popcorn. I have no idea who's doing what, but it all sounds like a bunch of CYA on both parts, which is cover your asses. Everybody's covering their own ass. I don't know what to believe. So just when you think that things could not get worse for Blake Lively, she is being pegged as a mean girl.
She got a few of them.
Come on, it was a joke.
Blake Lively is getting the backlash of her life as many past and hidden secrets of her meanness are exposed.
One viewer said she did not. That's effed up. Meaning she was behind a very sarcastic and pretty inappropriate comment, a cruel joke for one of her co-stars, Leighton Meester, and this what happened in a panel.
I think I'm just brunette because the book's
And everyone knows blondes are nicer anyway.
So she faces backlash after making a distasteful joke about Leighton Meester's difficult childhood, leading to growing criticism of her remarks.
Come on, it was a joke. Lord have mercy.
Man, she is on, everyone is kind of on the I don't like Blake Lively train. Now, she's an actress known for her performances and stunning red carpet appearances, but she is now known for being the face of drama, and in particular, all the tabloids surrounding Lively and Baldoni's current lawsuit against one another.
And Baldoni's next steps in his fight against his It Ends With Us co-star Blake Lively.
The It Ends With Us fiasco is an ongoing legal battle between her and Justin Baldoni, and now Baldoni just filed a suit against Lively, her publicist, and her husband Ryan Reynolds. Now, what happened in this joke and why is it resurfacing now? Well, it's not surprising that people are going after Lively for her character and her insensitivity, and she is known to be very sarcastic, okay? That's part of her humor. In fact, her and her husband, I think they roast each other all the time. Some people really like that. Me, I don't want anything to do with that. I'm not somebody that enjoys roasting other people. I'll talk and I will comment and I'll share facts about other people, but when it comes to like literally making someone feel bad, not me. So what happened was, it was a viral TikTok video from an undated panel discussion, and Lively can be seen making an insensitive joke about Meester's birth. Now, it took a lot of people by surprise when that happened, and it's being resurfaced now because I gather that people are looking into both Baldoni and Lively's character. So she was seated right next to her co-star in an attempt to be funny. Right in the middle of a conversation, she said, well, some of us started in a cage, okay? And I think what happened at the time, because she said that, some of us started in a cage, because she was actually born from her mother, who was serving time in jail, like a 10-year sentence for a crime. She basically, waved her hand in Leighton's direction when the audience wasn't having it. And she tried to salvage what she said by saying, come on, it was a joke. Lord have mercy. But the need for damage control is happening even right now. What's worse about this statement is because, according to the executive producer, Joshua Safran, Lively and Leighton were not friendly with each other, okay? Or at least not as friendly as their on-screen characters seemed to say. So it wasn't like she was making a comment to a close buddy, a long, time pal, friend, family member. Some of us weren't born in a cage. Like, oh my goodness. And maybe that's not something that everybody actually knows or has context. So it was really perceived as something cruel and something that was inappropriate at the time. Most jokes might not make sense to you, but in this particular case, if you're not even that close with your co-star, then why make fun of a really unfortunate situation, okay? Leighton's childhood was far from conventional, and she was raised by her grandmother. So she was born to Constance Meester when she was incarcerated and serving a 10-year sentence for drug trafficking. So this is also going to be bringing up something from her past. People might be Googling it now. What does she mean by that? So on and so forth. That's not something that I don't know what the conversation was about, but I can't see a time where that is or was appropriate. And here's what some fans had to say. She did not. That's effed up. On TikTok, how cruel and inappropriate. Another person says, always joking, but in reality, being mean. Bro, okay, this one changed my opinion completely. And finally, she's so insufferable. This isn't the only time that Lively has been criticized for being mean and inappropriate, dismissive, and not nice while in an interview or doing a panel discussion. I think that her publicists really need to work with her on, not speaking right away and not firing her sarcasm. She needs to think about that. I mean, hopefully publicists know how to train their clients on what to do and what not to do. Multiple videos of her missteps are resurfacing right now, and they're making their rounds on the internet. People love to roast people, and really the pitchforks are out, and Lively's not, her reputation is suffering as a result of it. It is not looking good for Lively. In the same breath, if you, make a mistake, it wasn't as if she had some sincere apology. She brushed it off and said, come on, guys, it was just a joke. There was no follow-up or there doesn't seem to be evidence that she addressed her misstep or that it was unkind or inappropriate or anything of that nature.
Travis Kelce literally started this whole love story by being adorably rejected. On July 8th, 2023, he went to Taylor Swift's Eras Tour show at Arrowhead Stadium with a friendship bracelet he made himself with his phone number on it. The plan was to slip it to her somehow. The problem? He couldn't actually get backstage. He thought his Chiefs connections would magically work. They did not. He then complained about it on his New Heights podcast on July 26th, 2023, calling himself a little butthurt.
But I wanted to give Taylor Swift one with my number on it. Not right now.
Ooh. Taylor later said on the same podcast that he threw a man tantrum, but she also reframed the moment romantically, saying it felt more like I was in an 80s John Hughes movie and he was just like standing outside of my window with a boombox. Travis was 33. Taylor was 33. From day one, he was the one chasing her, not the other way around. Iconic origin story. Taylor Swift confirmed her romance with Travis Kelce on September 24th, 2023, and the moment basically broke the internet. She showed up to the Chiefs versus Bears game at Arrowhead Stadium and sat in a private box right next to Travis's mom, Donna Kelce. The optics were everything. After the game, they left together in his vintage purple Chevelle, which fans immediately dubbed the getaway car, referencing one of her actual songs. His teammate James Winchester later told reporters Travis was smiling and blushing the whole time. The Chiefs game became the most watched NFL game of that week and ranked #1 among women across every age demographic. Taylor later confirmed in her Time Person of the Year interview in December 2023, "By the time I went to that first game, we were a couple." Translation, they were already in love when she made her big public debut. The girl knew exactly what she was doing. Travis Kelce got engaged to Taylor Swift on a date sometime in mid-August 2025, and the announcement on August 26, 2025 went absolutely viral. They posted a joint Instagram with the caption, "Your English teacher and your gym teacher are getting married. Genius." The post reportedly hit 14 million likes within the first hour and over 30 million within 24 hours, surpassing -16 million reposts in just 6 hours, making it the most reposted Instagram post in history. Travis proposed in a garden at his Missouri home with a glass of wine before dinner, then immediately FaceTimed both families to share the news. His dad, Ed Kelce, confirmed this whole sequence on News 5 Cleveland. The custom engagement ring was an old Mine Brilliant cut diamond designed with jeweler Kindred Lubeck of Artifacts Fine Jewelry. The ring, the proposal, the announcement, every single detail was personal and meaningful. This wasn't some cold celebrity arrangement. This was clearly two people who actually love each other. Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce's zodiac signs are reportedly a perfect astrological match, at least according to multiple astrologers. Taylor is a Sagittarius, born December 13th, 1989. Travis is a Libra, born October 5th, 1989. Both are 36 right now, as of June 2026. Astrologer Lisa Stardust told Today that their charts show a sun-moon conjunction in Sagittarius, meaning his moon literally aligns with her sun sign. She also said their Venus-Mars conjunction in Scorpio is off the chart steamy, and concluded the two are karmically tethered together. The Astro Twins astrologers said their composite chart creates a fierce, passionate bond with deep loyalty and intensity. Bonus, both were born in 1989, so they share the exact same karmic notes. which astrologers read as a fated alignment. Now, listen, zodiac analysis is fun, not science. But the fact that every astrologer who's looked at this couple keeps reaching the same conclusion is honestly kind of suspicious. In a cute way, of course. Travis Kelce treats Taylor Swift like a queen, and the body language experts literally cannot stop pointing it out. Judy James told the Daily Mail that Travis feels unthreatened by Taylor, unlike her previous boyfriends. Around her exes, Taylor seemed to make herself smaller or twin their styles. With Travis, she stands tall, confident, totally herself. Body language expert Patty Wood cited a genuineness that wasn't present in photos of Taylor's past relationships. Even Fox News expert Blanca Cobb called Travis chivalrous and protective of Taylor on the field. Travis himself has openly admitted his place in the dynamic. He told Wall Street Journal interviewers, "I am just a jamoke supporting his girlfriend." He has also said about her, "I see you on that stage and see how you can get an entire stadium going. And then I get you in a room and it's like I've known you forever. It's the easiest conversation I ever had." That's a man secure in himself, loving a powerful woman. Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce's families have genuinely fallen in love with each other, and that's honestly the green flag of all green flags. Travis's mom, Donna Kelce, even changed her Facebook cover photo to side-by-side childhood photos of Travis and Taylor after the engagement announcement. Sweet, but also a huge mom move. His dad, Ed Kelce, went on News 5 Cleveland and gave a whole tell-all about the proposal, calling them two young people very much in love.
It's to see them together is great. They're just two young people very much in love.
His brother, Jason Kelce, sent a giant congratulations on the New Heights podcast, calling it the proposal heard round the world. Jason's wife, Kylie Kelce, literally went viral for snapping at the press, saying, "Quit asking me and my mother-in-law about upcoming nuptials. Nobody's effing telling you anything." Iconic protector energy. Taylor's dad, Scott Swift, was reportedly at the Eras Tour show in Argentina in November 2023, sitting in the VIP booth with Travis. That kind of family integration takes years. They built it in less than 2. Taylor Swift's entire The Life of a Showgirl album is basically a Travis Kelce love letter from start to finish. The album dropped on October 3rd, 2025, and debuted at #1 with a record-breaking first week, moving 4 million equivalent album units, according to Billboard. Almost every track has Travis references woven in. Opalite is named for his opal birthstone, with the lyric, "Happiness can also be man-made too." The fate of Ophelia describes him rescuing her from being driven mad by love, with the line, "I heard you calling on the megaphone." Wood is her raciest song ever, with the now infamous double entendre, "New Heights of Manhood," directly referencing his podcast name. Jason Kelce teased Travis about it on New Heights. Even eldest daughter reportedly references wanting kids and the whole block looking like you. Taylor has literally turned her career into a public love confession for Travis. The receipts are in every single song. The girl is gone for him. Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce's wedding date is still a complete mystery, and the speculation has reached chaos levels. Multiple outlets, including Page 6, had reported they would marry on June 13th, 2026 at Ocean House in Watch Hill, Rhode Island, a venue tied to Taylor's lucky number 13. That date came and went. They were photographed in New York City that exact night, attending the Broadway show Oh Mary at the Lyceum Theater, posing backstage with Maya Rudolph. Taylor wore a purple velvet dress, Travis wore a Hawaiian shirt. The local NBC affiliate WJAR confirmed there was no celebrity wedding at Ocean House that day, and that the couple had never even filed for a marriage license in Westerly, which Rhode Island requires. The current rumor floating around now points to July 3rd, 2026 at Madison Square Garden, with TMZ reporting 16,100 to 16,200 guests and text-only invitations. But heads up, this is still pure speculation. Their reps have declined to comment. Stay tuned, basically.
All right, so it seems like Blake Lively is being compared to as Hollywood Karen.
What does that mean?
This is really surprising, and there's been a lot of backlash for Blake Lively for a couple of reasons. Number one, there was a recent interview that was published regarding a promotion in 2016 of a movie that she did with her co-star Posey, and the interviewer was actually quite embarrassed because she led the interview by complimenting or just basically saying, "Congratulations on your bump."
First of all, congrats on your little bump.
Congrats on your little bump.
So the reporter Kirsty published this YouTube video, and it's titled "The Blake Lively Interview That Made Me Want to Quit My Job." And Kirsty published this August 10th. It has had now 3 million views and growing, and has been covered so far by multiple outlets, okay? And essentially, I kind of feel bad for Blake because this is a situation that is adding on to the bad marketing and PR that she's being accused of for her most recent film, It Ends With Us.
But 15 seconds. That's all it takes.
Now, for those who do not know, It Ends With Us is covering a deep, serious topic. It is about DV, and it's a serious subject matter. And there's also complaints that at the end of the film, normally when you have shows that are around a serious topic, there is either a crisis line or a helpline or some kind of support that is offered to the viewers because it is, a triggering topic, right? Blake has been criticized for all along. Number one is that as she's going through the promotion of the film, it seems like her interests are her hair products and the clothing to wear.
That's what I'm saying. His wardrobe was beautiful.
Okay, one of the things that she's being criticized for is calling out to women, hey ladies, bring your florals out, wear your florals and come watch this movie, okay? That is not a reason to watch a movie about DV. It is not about what you're wearing. It is about the subject matter, what you can learn about it. It almost seems as if, not seems, it is a bit insensitive. For those women and men who suffer from DV or who have, who are watching this very serious film, including, the producers of the film, the other actors in the film that are trying to tell this story about DV, it's really downplaying the actual, purpose of the movie. What is the purpose? What is the story? It is not about, Blake's new hair product. It is not about, cross marketing it with her husband's movie Wolverine, right? And Deadpool. And it should not be about anything other than the subject of the film, the reason of the film, the fact that he bought the rights to the book It Ends With Us. And so coupled with that, this very week, 9 days ago, on top of the criticism of her being insensitive to the subject matter, Kirsty publishes this Mean Girls interview. It opens up with Kirsty, saying to Blake, congratulations on your little bump. And Blake immediately says, well, congratulations on your little bump. Now, mind you, the backstory here is, first of all, the interviewer was not pregnant. We've come to learn that the interviewer actually is infertile. And so immediately you can kind of tell, if I was a body language expert, which I'm not, and I'm sure some body language experts are going to hop all over this, you could tell she was super uncomfortable. And then as the interview goes along, there is a lot of side conversation that's happening between her and her co-star. It almost as if the interviewer didn't even exist. In fact, Kirsty, the description is quite short. Sitting down with Blake Lively and her co-star Parker Posey for Cafe Society 2016, this is 8 years ago, is the most uncomfortable interview situation I've ever experienced. Is it not okay to congratulate someone on their pregnancy or to ask another woman about costumes she's wearing in a film? Let me know what you think in the comments. Now, there were two really sort of like icky moments in this interview that Blake is being called out for. And in fact, the director, the co-producer and director of the film actually hired an emergency PR person for reputation management, the same person who handled, Johnny Depp's situation when he was with Amber Heard, because there's a lot of damage control that needs to be done, okay? People are coming out now and really scrutinizing Blake's character. They are comparing her to the Karen of Hollywood. They are comparing her to a mean girl. They are saying she lacks, general sensitivity, that the marketing for and the promotion of this movie, It Ends With Us, is a complete, not a sham, but complete failure, okay? Rather than showing up on the red carpet to talk about the film, to talk about, DV, to talk about the other actors and what the storyline is about, she makes it more about her, a fashion show, bringing in her husband, bringing in Hugh Jackman. It's like a party on the red carpet rather than it being, a real tribute and a real promotion for the film. In fact, she is caught saying, we don't get, paid to promote the film. So in other words, and even saying that out loud is a little weird, right? Whether you get paid or not, does that mean that you shouldn't be proud of the work that you're doing? That she's also a co-producer on the film. And in fact, her co-star was quite complimentary, and everything that he said about Blake is, really nice. It's quite opposite from anything that Blake has to say about him. All right, let me give you guys a little bit of context here for those who are not familiar with all the drama surrounding It Ends With Us. Number one, it did do well opening weekend. It brought in $50 million at the box office. And although, this is an adaptation of Colleen Hoover's book, it touches on an important topic. We mentioned DV. And the male lead and the film's director is Justin Baldoni. Now, you can see and hear, and there's evidence of Justin Baldoni giving a lot of praise and accolades to Blake Lively. She's a producer on the film. He said that she, was integral to making the film actually better, that she is, she had a lot of input in the fashion, in the scenes, in the editing. Like, pretty much she played a big part, and he really praised her for that. Whereas what you've noticed and what people did start to notice is fans noticed that Blake and Justin didn't do any press together. And in fact, there was a speculation of this rift, and it got worse after fans noticed that Justin wasn't even included in any of the group photos at the New York City premiere. So she didn't pose. The co-producer and director of the film, Justin Baldoni, who bought the rights for this book, It Ends With Us, who chose to bring Blake onto the project. Now, there's so much going on negative about this, not only from the press, from the promotion, from the recent interview that a journalist published 9 days ago that has 3 million views, showcasing Blake as not a nice person, basically ignoring the interviewer, making her very uncomfortable. Justin reportedly hired veteran PR crisis manager Melissa Nathan. And again, she is the one that was on Johnny Depp's team. So Blake Lively now is under a lot of scrutiny. Here are some of the topics that I'm seeing on the side of YouTube. Okay, Blake Lively being a bully. Is Blake Lively Hollywood's Karen? Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni. It Ends With Us drama. Blake Lively is messy. Celebrities flipping out at disrespectful interviews. Oh my gosh. So inside Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively's insanely lavish life. So now people are also looking at their relationship. It basically is showcasing and showing Blake in a light that isn't positive. It's showing her in a light that is speaking of her as being very insensitive. People are also speculating that this is a woman who, grew up in privilege from a family that, has been in film. She just fell into her career. She really has never had any hardships. So how the heck can she relate even to DV? She's probably never seen it in her life, doesn't really experience it. She's an actress, not even a person who grew up as a child thinking, I want to be an actress. Supposedly she just fell into it because her brother told her to, audition for something, and then she got the part. So again, everything in her life seems to just have fallen into place. Certainly not saying that she's not a good actress or that she's not necessarily, I'm not saying she's a bad person, but what's clear is she's extremely sensitive about her being pregnant. Okay. There was other evidence and other videos that I've watched where the interviewer, anytime the interview ever comments or makes reference to her belly or her bump or whatever, she's like in complete denial or she gets upset. Imagine that you are an interviewer and you're saying, oh, congratulations, on your bump. And then she says to a woman who's not pregnant, oh, congratulations on your bump.
That's super embarrassing. Everybody knows this. And when you're showing up on a talk show, you're obviously pregnant. The male host said to her, you're having a baby. And she's like, what makes you say that? Like, that makes it really uncomfortable. One of the things that has been noted is that Blake and Ryan Reynolds, they always troll each other, okay? Blake has this, I would say, sarcastic sense of humor. And I think normally people didn't make it a big deal. But the fact that all of these things are happening all at once is like the perfect storm. They say good things happen in threes, bad things happen in three. What are the three things that are happening bad here? She is being viewed as being self-promotional. She is being criticized for, telling women to wear their florals to come watch this movie. There has been no real mention of the seriousness, the gravity, the mission, the purpose of this story. It ends with us. In another interview where an interviewer said, hey, where can people, reach out to you if they want to reach out to you regarding this film, regarding the serious nature of this film, kind of like, where those who have had an issue reach out. She's like, oh, did you want my number? Do you want my address? Like, she made a complete joke about it and laughed it off. And so maybe under normal circumstances, when she's not being accused of as a Karen prior to this, Mean Girl interview coming out, that people would think, oh, that's just Blake. She's just funny. Her and, Ryan are just that kind of character. No, people are actually looking at it now and saying, oh, was she mean all along? How did we miss this Mean Girl energy? How did we miss this, woman of privilege and really being insensitive to this film? The other thing is, why is it necessary to say, listen, you don't get paid to promote, so don't think that I'm going to be here on any red carpet or any premiere promoting this film. I'm going to promote my, hair products. I'm going to promote my husband's movie. I'm going to promote my fashion. I'm going to promote my style. I'm going to promote myself, basically. It had nothing, no accolades, no, kudos to her co-stars, to kudos to Justin Baldoni for choosing to make this film. It was really everything is centered around Blake being kind of a meanie and a mean girl. So I'm really surprised. We've not covered Blake before here on Daily Break TV, but I think we're going to be in tune and in touch and watching how the cookie crumbles, if she's going to keep the Karen label or how she's going to climb out of this very difficult, icky situation.
Well, it's not looking good for Blake Lively right now, as a recent video resurfaced about her saying in an actual interview that she sometimes acted as her own intimacy coordinator, and she does not recommend that for anybody. She actually said on tape,
you should not be the intimacy coordinator. You should definitely hire intimacy coordinators, which we did have. Well, thank goodness. So.
Blake Lively accuses Justin Baldoni of weight shaming her on the set of It Ends With Us.
I don't recommend that, it's not advisable that you act as your own intimacy coordinator.
The role of intimacy coordination, but when I think of my involvement in the film, I don't really see that, the thing that I did.
And then another video where it shows Blake Lively herself showing Justin Baldoni on camera how to pull her in a sexy way.
Thank goodness. You were teaching Justin how to pull you in.
Where have you seen this?
That clip?
I actually just saw it too.
Like the way that she wanted to showcase, probably lust or romance or whatever it was, which is not good for her claim that Justin Baldoni acted in the absence of intimacy coordinators. She actually admitted that she sometimes served as her own intimacy coordinator, which kind of leads to the fact that she was comfortable with that. The second thing is that it's showing evidence that she was actually teaching Justin how he should hold her. So there's a lot of he said, she said. Who knows when and where their relationship sort of fizzled out. And I'm not saying that there were maybe instances caught off camera where Justin might have behaved inappropriately, where her grievances are actually true, yet it's hard to, stand by what Blake Lively is saying when part of her complaint is something that she fed into and she did herself. So the resurfaced interview shows Blake Lively addressing her actual role in coordinating these intimate scenes, and it's fueling a lot of online backlash from netizens, and again, her reputation here is at stake. She accused her co-star and director Justin Baldoni of unwanted advances and improvising physical scenes without an intimacy coordinator. So, okay, but you acted as one, hence he might have felt comfortable, or maybe he got the mixed signals that it was okay to improvise and to, do things in the absence of a intimacy coordinator because you acted as one at times. There's that resurfaced interview, which, by the way, is not looking good for her. The team of It Ends With Us, which included Colleen Hoover, Blake Lively, and Brandon Sklenar, sat down for an interview with Access Hollywood. We'll play that clip. And as the conversation shifted to the actress's romance with the leading actors, the interviewer pointed out how Lively was sometimes the intimacy coordinator herself. Now, in her complaints that she filed against Justin, it had a lot to do with Justin's unwanted advances towards her, as well as the lack of involvement from intimacy coordinators. However, she did admit that there were intimacy coordinators on set and on site. Now, whether or not they were present the entire time, whether or not she chose to follow the intimacy coordinators' directions, is something that is not going to bode well for her in her case, because it's saying right there, I sometimes acted as the intimacy coordinator and we probably shouldn't do that. So I don't know how that's going to hold up. The interviewer said, talk to me about how sometimes you were even the intimacy coordinator in some of those sexier scenes. And this is when she laughed and said, that shouldn't be happening, by the way. I just want to be clear that you should not be the intimacy coordinator. You should definitely have intimacy coordinators, which we did have. So I gather that I'm not a lawyer, I'm not a judge. I gather that by her saying that, I don't know if she can submit that complaint or if that's going to be valid, because she did what she wasn't supposed to do. Now, Centerview reposted this and showed about how she nervously, laughed it off, and she couldn't forecast in the future that she was going to use this against Justin Baldoni. But for the Baldoni team, this is probably a big win, and it's not making Blake look good. The interviewer also brought up behind the scenes clip, which showed Lively again teaching Baldoni how to pull her in, and she's literally she's full up in his guts, right? They're face to face. It's romantic. I've watched the movie, okay? The chemistry between these two and the scenes. I mean, I've seen, I call it PG-13. I mean, it's not 9.5 weeks. It is an indecent proposal. Their scenes were not steamy to me. I mean, compared to what other steamy scenes are like. So the complaint she had was during one of their kissing scenes, he began to bite her lip, suck on her lip, asked to do it over and over again. It wasn't right. And so for her, she's feeling like, okay, this is unnecessary. We don't need to rehearse this like a million times. This is getting for her, she felt like he just wanted to continue to film and continue to do it because maybe he was getting pleasure out of it. That is what it sounds like it is. And maybe she felt uncomfortable with that. But who knows? Everybody's everybody's watching. The entire, camera crew and cast is watching. So the fact that he is, doing all of those things, everyone else is around and witnessing that. So it's possible that she might have felt those things after the trouble, and then maybe in her own mind it escalated and then she felt violated. I don't know. It is her complaint. She has the right to feel the way she feels. However, Justin is trying to defend his actions, saying everything he did, he acted, for the best interest of the film. It was not to do with her. Here are what some people have to say. I hope his attorneys caught that there is video evidence. She thinks we're blind and we're not. Insufferable, someone says. I really don't like her. Another one, even her body language makes her seem entitled and stuck up. So, not very good. Needless to say, the Lively versus Baldoni drama has got people picking sides and the he said, she said, so who knows how this is going to unfold. Now, what are the details inside Lively's lawsuit? It says that when she filed the federal lawsuit against Baldoni, she accused him of sexual harassment and conducting a smear campaign against her, and that he improvised a lot of physical intimacy on the set. You have to watch this movie. Again, I personally am not seeing any love scenes or things that are out of character or that seem like, oh my God, this is hot and steamy. And I mean, did it show that they had good chemistry? Yes. I'm not in her shoes, so I don't know how she felt. It looked like good chemistry, but in no way, shape, or form did I see any nudity. Even when she had to deliver her baby in the nude, like her legs are up. There's nothing private that you can actually see. And his face was, where his face was. I mean, I'm sure she covered her private parts because no one else could see them, right? But she complained that that's what he insisted. But, I've given birth 4 times. When you're giving birth, you're naked, okay? Not maybe naked the whole way around. You have a gown, but your gown is wide open. So if you're trying to deliver and portray a real live giving birth scene, that would be appropriate. I don't think that that's adding extra or that he necessarily wanted to see her naked. But again, if you have that narrative and you feel that way about somebody, anything and everything that he does, you're going to pick apart and you're going to make it, that's the story that you believe in your mind. Okay, so she has the right to complain. Whether or not a judge or a jury or people are going to believe her is another thing. Now, the lawsuit also reads that Mr. Baldoni improvised physical intimacy that had not been rehearsed, choreographed, or discussed with Miss Lively and with no intimacy coordinator involved. Enough said. You can't complain about a situation. Well, you can, but it's going to be hard to defend when you yourself acted as intimacy coordinator and it was okay in one instance, and why is it not okay in another instance? It's kind of like you're shooting yourself in the foot. I feel bad for her if really any of these things are true, but everyone else isn't really buying it. And this is part of the reason why Baldoni himself filed a lawsuit, not even against Blake Lively. They filed a $100 million lawsuit against the New York Times, which clearly was biased to Blake Lively's narrative and omitted any and everything that would have poked a hole in her story or had anybody doubt that what they wanted to share and portray Baldoni as was anything other than what she claimed, which cost him his, removal from his agency.